In this video, I'm going to be replacing the wheel bearings of this Harley-Davidson front wheel using the OMT extractor and installer.
All right, going to be using the OMT wheel bearing puller. This is what the kit comes with. Looks like you have your extractors, your different plates, miscellaneous hardware, washers, nuts, the rod, and then the thing go to the top.
Before you start extracting your bearings from your wheel, what I would do is check the inside spacer and get an idea of how tight the bearings are against the inside spacer. And then when you go to install your bearings, you can have a kind of a gauge of how tight the bearings, or at least the right hand bearing, should be tightened against that spacer. It's recommended that you put some type of lubricant on the threads when you're extracting the bearings, or also when you're inserting the bearings into the wheel. This is just going to prolong the life of the OMT tool. Right. Main piece. Spreader. Gold washer. Large nut. Oh, make sure we don't cross thread it. Washer on top, and the small nut. Okay, we're going to go ahead and insert this into the bearing. I'm going to just hand tighten that just to keep it up. And now what we're going to do is the spreader. Take your 5/8 wrench, and again there's some flat spots right here just underneath this washer. You're going to tighten this nut up to 100 inch-pounds. There we go. Make sure the tool's centered, not on the rotor nuts or bolts. Do not have an open one, so again using the crescent wrench and using this 5/8 wrench to hold this in place while I'm going to tighten, which is going to raise the extractor. There it is. Again, you're going to have to take your, see there right there's those flat spots I was talking about. You have to take your 5/8 wrench. Okay. Small nut, silver washer, large bolt, gold washer, main body, and of course now we have the extractor. Just push the spreader out, have the old bearing, and that's it. Now I'm going to be installing non-ABS wheel bearings. However, if you do have ABS wheel bearings that you're installing, the groove or the magnetic encoder ring on the bearing should face the ABS sensor. On most Harleys, the ABS sensor is on the inside of the wheel, so the groove encoder ring faces the inside. However, I always check the manufacturer instructions for that particular wheel bearing on the direction of which way they are inserted into the hub. According to the Harley-Davidson service manual, it says to install the left-hand side bearing first, or the primary side. Alright, this is the left side of the motorcycle, or the primary side. And I am going to take the long bolt from the kit with the washer. I'm going to put it up underneath. Through here. Then I'm going to get my bearing. I've got the tool kit, and I am going to insert it on here. I'm going to get a little bit of oil and just put it on the inside. Just to help it smooth in. I'll put a little bit of these bearings I bought from Harley-Davidson. They were approximately $24, $25 a piece. I'm gonna get this up close. I'm gonna take my washer, throw that on. I'm going to grab the nut. We're gonna thread that on. Alright, so I've got a wrench that's going to hold this nut. Now in the instructions, the nut says it's a 3/4 inch, but I found that an 18mm works a little bit better. And then on this side, I've got another 18mm. And I'm going to just slowly, holding this side still, but wrenching. And I did lube the threads of the tool. So as you can see, the bearing is going in. From the information I found on the internet, you see how I have the bearing almost flush. The information says I should seat this against the stop that's inside, and there is still a little bit more room. And when I took this wheel off, it actually sunk in a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, finish this up. No, 3/16 in. You're going to install the bearing on the right hand side. Make sure you put your spacer in. Kind of line it up so it sits. And I've got the numbering. I'm going to point that to the outside. It's on the top and bottom. I installed the right hand side bearing similar to the left hand side bearing. I just made sure that the bearing was against the spacer, just like when I did the check before I extracted them. Yeah, so I didn't go far enough because it's the spacer's wiggling. So